Let me start and let me share the screen. Right. Okay. So let's start the Word software, and you know how to open it now, right? And I'm taking a blank document. So previously, last week, we discussed about the way, or like what are these tools that we can find at the top of the screen, as well as the rulers, the status bars, and we discussed there is a component called ribbon, and inside the ribbons there are groups, and inside the groups there are tools or the commands, right? So those are the things that we use to make our final output, or to present our final output in a particularly nice manner, right? So today we are going to learn what are the tools and what we can do using those, right? So first I'm going to take your attention into this tab or the ribbon called home, right? So inside the home tab, first I'm going to talk about this font group, right? So inside the font group, there are several different buttons. So we are going to know why those buttons are there, right? So first of all, like I'm typing, yeah, let me change my language. Yeah. And again, people, I'm going to tell you how to type Sinhala on your computers as well, because as an ICT student, you will be having the requirement of typing Sinhala in your computer. So I'm going to show that too, right? So how those things are done, right? When the time comes. So first of all, I'm going to type something on the working area of the document. So let me type the word apple, right? And as you can see, uh, my letters are being populated from this popping up line, which we call the cursor, right? So මෙතන මේ නිවි නිවි පත්තු වෙන එක්කෙනාට තමයි අපි cursor එක කියලා කියන්නේ. So that is the point where you can see the words are popping up, and if you change the place, it will change the place where the text are being typed, right? So remember, when you are typing something on a text editor, right, it's the cursor that shows you. පුතේ වීඩියෝස් ඔන් කරන්න එපා. ගිය සතියේත් මට මතකයි කවුරු හරි කෙනෙක් වීඩියෝ එකක් ටෙස්ට් කරන්න ඔන් කරනවා. Be careful what you are doing, right? And so the letters will be given to you from the place where you can see the cursor, right? So let me close the magnifier. And then the next thing is you have to like if you want to apply a particular command, or if you want to take effect the command on a particular component in any office package component, or in any office package softwares, you have to select that particular component or the object, right? So if you want to do something, do changes to a word, you have to select that word. If you want to change something in a particular letter, you have to select that letter, right? If you want to change the formattings of a paragraph, you have to select that paragraph, right? Same goes with the images and shapes and all these things, right? So the golden rule is, if you want to take effect of a particular command, first you have to select the object or the text that you need to apply the changes, right? So first I'm going to tell you how to select things, right? So for that, first I'm making my letters a little bit bigger so you can see it clearly, right? So as I told you, the cursor is the place where we can use to insert the text onto this document, as well as when we need to select a particular thing, especially when we need to select some text or a letter, right? We can use the cursor as the starting point of the selection, right? So without using the mouse, you can do the selection only by using the keyboard with the help of the keys control, which is named as CTRL, and the arrow keys, right? So arrow keys, I think you know what are the arrow keys are. Like there are up arrow key, down arrow key, left and right arrow keys. Like it is uh, right beneath the enter button, right? The games ගහනකොට පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ, right? As well as there are arrow keys in the numpads as well, but it is easier for us to use that keys which is beneath the enter key, right? So the first thing that we have to do is, using the arrow keys, we can move our cursor to the left and to the right, as well as if we have lines at the bottom, we can go bottom and come up again, right? So that is using the arrow keys. So if you want to select a particular letter, let's say you need to select the last letter E of the Apple word. So what you have to do is you have to place the cursor either of the side of the E, right? Then if you're like placing it at the right side of the E, so what you have to do is just press the shift key and press the left arrow button or left arrow key. So it will start selecting to the left. So likewise, we can do the selection to the leftmost. If you want to select to the right side, you have to place your cursor at the left side of the letter E. Then you press shift and press the right arrow key to have the selection to the right. Right now, I'm having two spaces after the E letter, so it also been selected, right? So likewise, without the interference of the mouse, we can select any letter or a word using the shift and the arrow keys, right? And if you are using the mouse will help you to place the cursor as you want, right? So if you are selecting from a mouse, first place your cursor to the starting point or the ending point of your selection. And let's assume you need to select this P word, L word, P letter, L letter, and E, the letters. So what you have to do is either you have to place the cursor before the P, or you have to place the cursor after this E, right? Then what you can do is you can click your mouse and drag it to the direction you want, right? So what is the way? You can click the mouse and drag your mouse to the place you want to get selected, either from at the left side of the P or from right side of the E in this case, right? So likewise, you can select any one particular letter or some letters or a word, or if you have particular sentence, right? Let's say this. So you can select the entire sentence as well, right? So as well as if you want to select the entire sentence at once, you can place your mouse at the leftmost place inside the margin. Now, you know what's the margin is. Last week we talked about the margin. Right now, this is the margin level. So when we are in the margin, so when the cursor is within the margin, not the cursor, actually the mouse point is within the margin, it indicates a cursor, right? Cursor type of mouse point. When it goes beyond the margin, it changes. It changes into a pointer. When you are having this white color pointer, once you click on it, you can select the entire row, right? Or the entire sentence inside a Word document, right? So that is how you are going to select the entire row. And again, when it comes to selecting a word, වචනයක් select කරගන්නකොට, you can double click on the word, so the entire word will be selected like this. So apple word is selected, is selected, red is selected, likewise. And again, if you want to select the entire sentence at once or a paragraph at once, you can triple click. තුන් සැරයක් click කරන්න පුළුවන්. එක සැරේ එහෙම කරාම මුළු පේලියම select වෙනවා. Like this. All right. So triple click, it helps you to select the entire sentence, right? So that is how the selections are done, right? Now, when the selections are done, then we can apply the particular command or the effect of the tool by clicking that particular tool, right? So let's see. Now, first I'm going to select this apple word, right, using my mouse. Then I'm going to show you how we are going to change the size. Now, this is a one place that you can change the size of a word. So these sizes are predefined, right? So Word has already made a size for you. And when you are moving your mouse pointer on the values in that list, you can see it changed, right? So this is not an actual change that is happening, because once you move your mouse pointer away, it comes to the state or the size that particular word is for in this present, right? So when you move to a particular size, it will preview you what is going to happen to your word once you select this particular size. So this is called live preview, right? So to apply or to have this particular formatting onto my selection, I have to click on it. So if I select 26 and I click on that, so it will take the size 26 for the selection, right? And remember, as I told you, it will always affect on the selection, right? And yeah, let me place the cursor over here and increase my size, and you can see the size increment is happening. Now I don't have any selection right over here, right? So the tool or the command that I use is called the increase font size. So my font size is increasing. So placing the cursor at the middle of the word indicates it is being selected, right? So if I place my cursor in ease and make it smaller, so the entire word is going to be small, right? So you can show your selection in two different ways. One is by selecting it literally, or otherwise by placing the cursor at the middle of the word. So you can increase it as well as decrease. So from all three methods, right? From all these methods, they are increasing the font size and decreasing the font size to a predefined sizes, which is given by the word, right? And again, when it comes to the increase and decrease, it will always use the predefined sizes. We don't have the ability to change the values using these two commands. But here, we are given the ability to change the size as we want. There is no rule saying that you have to choose a value from this particular list. If you don't like, or if you need any other size regarding this particular word, let's say you need the size 105, and definitely it's not here. If you use the increased font size, 105 won't appear, because after 100 it is 110 that you can see. Excuse me. And in case if you want 105, you can just click over here, just one click from the mouse, and you can type 105 and press enter. So your particular word, excuse me people, excuse me, right? So your particular word will be formatted for the size that you have specified here, right? Okay, people, confirm me whether you got what I said so far. You can send me a chat message. Is that clear? Right, great. Right. So the next thing is about the type of the font. So you can change the type of the font using this, right? So this tool is called font, just font, right? And it is giving us the way to change the fonts according to our selection. Right now, if I select the red, the word red, and if I select something like this, you can see the type or the font type is being changed, right? Then likewise, you can apply any different type. Okay, Susu, that will come. Right, so likewise, you can change any different type of font to be applied over here. And here, if you want to type Sinhala fonts, or like if you want to have Sinhala fonts, you have to install a particular Sinhala font into your computer. Now, if you take the operating systems like Windows 7, 8, and 10 as well, there are some Sinhala fonts pre-installed with those operating systems, which are Unicode fonts. So most probably the font called is Kolapotha, which is a Unicode font, will be there, right? Now the specialty of the Unicode font is you can type both Sinhala and English using Unicode fonts. So the other fonts, which we generally call the office fonts, which are not categorized or not made under the standards of the Unicode is not giving you the chance to type both Sinhala and English, right? So why I'm saying that is, now if I select a Unicode font to this red, like Iskolapotha is right over here. So red will be shown in Iskolapotha now. The Iskolapotha font is here, right? And if I choose a non-Unicode font, right? Fonts jati dekai tiyenne Unicode dekai Unicode noveneva, right? So now this particular font is not a Unicode font. We call it OKD Bolinda, right? Ege hadapu kattiya denna nam. So once I choose that, see, you can see the letter Ru and the Alapillak, right? Because this doesn't have the ability to represent both Sinhala and English Unicodes, right? So now you should have the idea, not to your exam. In your examination, they won't test the Sinhala fonts, but I'm just giving you the idea because nowadays we are frequently use this two types of fonts when it comes to the in your education, in the general interactions, right? You are using these things, right? So it's better you know, since it is ICT related one, right? So when you need to choose or when you need to use a particular Sinhala font, it's better you select that font here and then you can type. So there will be many different fonts which is mapped to your keyboard, right? But when it comes to the typing, there are two ways that we can do it. Either we have to remember what are the keys which represents the particular Sinhala letters. Like there are people who can remember that. Like I've experienced many typesetting people who are really good at typing the Sinhala fonts just by remembering the keys, right? But I am not a person who is remembering those things. So instead of that, I'm using a translate keyboard, which means like when I type AMMA to indicate Amma, it will translate into the Sinhala by using a translate software, right? So there are that kind of softwares where it will help you to type Sinhala like without remembering the keyboard, right? But to do that, you should have a particular software installed into your computer, right? So one of the softwares that I use is Google Input Tools, right? So you can download it, not from the Google, because Google have recently taken that out, giving you the ability to install the Google Input Tool in an offline manner. Now they only give you to use the Google Input Tool with the browser, right? But there are other websites who provide the Google Input Tool, right? So in case if anyone is interested, I can send it through the chat as well, right? So anyway, I'll put the installation file to your chat so you can download it and use it. And yes, Sudham, you can use the Helakuru app as well, right? And yeah, this is the zip file. I'm sorry, I was just sending it to one particular student. This is the zip file, so you can download the zip file and you can install the Google Input Tool inside this, right? So inside this zip file, there are two types of setups, right? So you should install this first setup, which is saying must install me. Then after you can use Google Input Tool Synchronize, right? Then you will be receiving the Google Input Tool option in your language preference toolbox, right? So if you can't, if you cannot see this, you can activate it by here, and by right clicking it and going to the toolbars, and you have to take hold on, language toolbar is not over here. No, not going the new toolbar. When we have like more than one particular languages, it will automatically appear over here, right? If it is not appearing, you have to go to the this language settings, and you can add the preferred language, so it will be shown over here, right? So I have add both the Sinhala and uh, English languages because they are anyway. So using the add language, by typing the Sinhala over here, I can select the Sinhala and install it. So it is not activated because I have installed it over here. So then after, I can double click on Sinhala and not the double click, just click on Sinhala and go for the options, right? And that options will show you what are the keyboards that you can use, right? So you can click there and add the keyboards now. So now I have add two keyboards, which is Google Input Tool and Sinhala. So this is Sinhala WIJ means the Vijaysekara keyboard, right? Makiwara mataka tiyagena type karanna puluwan kiyala, right? If you want, you can have that as well, but in my case, I'm using Google Input Tools, right? So when you choose Google Input Tools, you can type Singlish. Singlish means like if you want to type Amma, you have to type AMMAA, right? But the MA වලින් එන්නේ ma කියන શબ્දය. Ma කරන්න ඕන නම් තව එකක් ඕනේ. So I simply press space bar, so it will type, right? So likewise, you can use these type of softwares to type Sinhala as well, right? And if you want to install another different kind of software, or like different kind of fonts, දැන් මෙතන තියෙනවා දැන් ඔයගලගේ Word software කරගත්තොත් ඒකේ මේ තරම් සිංහල fonts ඔයගලන්ට දකින්න හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. You will be having different kinds of English fonts, not the Sinhala ones, right? And if you want to install any type of font, හිතන්නකෝ English වලම අලුත් font එකක් වාට install කරන්න ඕන කියලා. All you have to do is you have to download your font file from the internet first, right? So you can like just go and search. So here I have done a search regarding the Sinhala Unicode fonts. So I have given a particular list. So I chose the this particular fonts, which is given by the ICTA, right? So yes, Gavindu, hold on. Gavindu is asking me the yes, hold on. Yeah, here it comes. Right, so you can search and it will give you a list of fonts, right? So there will be different kind of ones, so it's better you search for something, right, that you want. And yes, Sudham, you can go with the Helakuru as well, right? And click on this. It will allow you to download in many different ways, right? මෙතන මේගොල්ලෝ දීලා තියෙන පොඩි explanation එකක් කොහොමද මේක හැදිලා තියෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක, right? So if you want to download it, මම click කරේ මේ user guide එක ගැන, like let's say NYH need to be download, so you just click it, it will get download, right? Usually it's download as a zip file to your download folder, So you can open the download folder and unzip this or the extract it. So once you extract it, you will be find this particular kind of a file. Now font file is coming with the extension of TTF in most of the cases. So if you want to install this, what you have to do is double click on this. It will open a window with the install button. So just click install, right? So it will get installed. Then you can find that particular font in this list. So I have input the font called NYH. Let's see whether NYH is there. Yeah, NYH is here, right? So if I put NYH and say Amma, yes, NYH is like this. And be careful, people, when you are working with Unicodes, there are two types of Sinhala fonts, which are Unicode and Office fonts, right? The Unicode fonts will font type එක change කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ Unicode type එකකින් විතරයි, right? Then if I apply this particular one, this is called OKD Bolinder, and this is not a Unicode one, it is not been applied, see, right? මට OKD Bolinder වලින් OKD Bolinder ඔතන type කරලා මෙහෙම type කරගන්න පුළුවන් කීපයක් මෙතන, right? So if I try to apply Unicode font to this, it won't work in the way we want. NYH දැම්මොත් පේනවද? NYH දැම්මොත් එයාගේ English representation එක තමයි මෙතනට අරගන්නේ. Now this is something purely out of your syllabus, but very practical, right? ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ වැඩවලට සෑහෙන උවමනා දෙයි. Video edit කරන අයට නේද, පොඩි photos edit කරන අයට, සිංහල type කරන්න ඕන වෙන තැන්වලට you will need these things, right? So remember, if you use a Unicode, there won't be a problem regarding changing the fonts styles. හැබැයි Unicode වල font styles හරි අඩුයි කියලා කියන්නේ comparatively. දැන් තියෙනවා 10ක් 20ක් විතර. But Office fonts, there are many, because it is been developed, like it is the font types that develop at the very first when they are introducing the Sinhala fonts to the computer, right? And later they develop the Unicode fonts for the Sinhala. So, and because of that, those the non-Unicode ones are greater in number than the Unicode fonts, right? So you may use it accordingly, right? But remember, Unicode වලින් ලියන ඒවට apply වෙන්නේ Unicode type එකේ ඒවා විතරයි. දැන් ඉස්කෝල පොත කියන්නේ Unicode type එකක්. ඒක මේකට apply වෙනවා, right? ඔයාලන්ට මෙතන පුස්කෝල පොත කියලා තියෙනවා. පුස්කෝල පොත කියන්නේ Unicode type එකක්. Can apply that, right? But not the Office ones, right? Office ඒවා apply කරනකොට ඒකට වෙනම software එකක් තියෙනවා, pencil කියලා. මම ඒක time එකම කියලා දෙන්නම්. pencil software එකෙන් ඔයාලට ಜಾති දෙකම type කරන්න පුළුවන්, right? So likewise, you can change the fonts as you want by using this font drop down or the font tool, right? Okay, so then I'm going to talk about this bold, italic and underline, which are very easy things, right? So now bold, italic, underline, these tools are there to increase the thickness of your letters, which is using the bold, right? And italic will lean your letters to the right hand side, and from underline will draw a line under your words, right? So how we are going to apply these things is just by selecting the particular part that you want to apply, right? So in this case I'm just applying A and P, and did you notice that once we do the selection, there is a toolbox is popping out, right? So it is providing us the tools that we are using in a very frequent manner. So either from this particular place or from here, you can do the things you want, right? So I'm using the bold, which is Control B as the shortcut. So you can see these two have more thickness than these three letters. Is because these are being bold. So once you apply the bold, when you select that particular object or a particular letter, it will show you the bold has been applied by indicating this ash color box around the bold tool. So if you want to get rid of the bold application, you can again click on the B, so it will disappear. So now you don't have any bold application, right? Once you apply it, the ash color box will be there around. Likewise, I can apply italic to this particular part, right? So these three letters are being italicized, right? And for the entire word, I'm going to apply the underline. So you can see there is an underline, and we can change the underline style by using this, right? So you can have like not as much as you want, but some underline styles to your document, right? As well as if you want to draw a line at the middle of the word or a letter, you can use a strike through, which is at the right side of the underline button. Once you choose that, you can see a line is going through the letters at the middle, right? So we use these things in our like when we doing the official we are preparing the official letters. Sometimes they need to display a particular statement has been cut over, right? So in that cases we use this feature, right? So which is called the strike through, right? So in the very same way we get rid of the bold, italic, underline, strike through, and all these things can be get rid of by selecting it and by clicking on the things, right? Again, so when you have the application, it will show you by highlighting the particular tool. So once you click on it, that effects will be taken out, right? So likewise, I can take out the strike through by clicking on the strike through, right? And to take out the italic over here, I can click on the italic icon again, right? And people, it is better you remember the shortcuts as well. At the end of the lesson, we are going to write what are the shortcuts are. So when you are talking about the shortcuts, we are talking about the keyboard, right? The keyboard shortcuts are generally named as shortcuts. So when we are using the keyboard shortcuts, we always use CTRL. Like in most of the cases, we use CTRL, right? So CTRL indicates control, right? So it is always CTRL and some other key or maybe two keys. In most of the cases, that letter of that key is the first letter of the command that we are going to use, right? So as an example, if you want to bold something, we can use control key, and bold starts from B. So we can use B key to apply the boldness to a particular word or particular selection, right? So control B will apply the bold. Control I will apply the italic effect, and control U will apply the underline effect, right? And for the strike through, there is no specific tooltip is given, right? So maybe if you surf in the internet, you may find some particular thing, right? So likewise, you can apply the effects or the formattings using the keyboard shortcut as well, right? And in case if you got anything wrong with you, you know how to go a step backward. We can go step backward by using the undo button, right? So the undo button is right over here, right? So we can click on the undo. So we are taking backward step by step. And at the right hand side of the undo, right over here, it is there as it calls redo. So it takes step by step forward to the place we have done the editing last, right? So undo and redo, right? So those are the ways we are going to do the bolding, italicizing, and underline, right? And strike through as well. So later at the right side of the strike through, there are two commands called subscript and the superscript, right? Now, this is again a very practical situation when you need to write a chemical solution, right? Or a chemical representation of a particular component. We use like this. Okay, now why my H2O is being italicized and underlined? How I'm going to get rid of this? Yes, any suggestions? Yes, people. I make a bold vela underline vela me underline vela italic vela පෙන්නන්නේ කොහොමද මම එයාගෙන් අයින් වෙන්නේ?
Click again on that button.
Yeah, come again, do come again.
Click again on that buttons.
Yeah, that's correct.
Bold and Italian.
Yes, this is because bold and italic is applied to this particular line as well. So we have to click on the bold and italic, or we have to apply the what? The keyboard shortcuts. Control B, Control I, and Control U will take it to the place where it is not applied the bold, italicize, and the underline. Right, good. So now the problem is when we need to write the word H2O. Yeah, Pramod, I'll tell you, right? So when we need to make this two, like just beneath the edge, right? No, so this is not the way we write H2O. So we can do that using the subscript tool, which is given by the MS Word. Now, once we press that, so it is there as we want. So the very same way, if you want to represent the 2 to the power of x, so this 2 should be right a little bit at the up, like it should be placed at the top of the x, right? Not very top, but something near the top. So once we click on this, and when we use the superscript, it can be taken to the position that we want. So that is why the superscript and the subscript tools are there. So this is done by the subscript and this is done by the superscript, right? And people, be careful when you apply the superscript, and if you continue typing the things, like just from that particular onwards, until you press a space, it will type the superscripted letters, right? So if you press space, it will change the way it works, right? But be careful, right? Sometimes it goes with the same format. Maybe it was a document take a in the final right? So be careful when you use the superscript and subscript, just apply it for the places that you want, But I'm going to the question that Pramod asked. Pramod is talking about like the ribbon bar goes up and the ribbon bar is not visible. How do I pick up that ribbon bar again? So you means your ribbons can be collapsed, right? So it's like this, right? Now, if you want to take this, what you have to do is just go to any of the ribbon name of any of the ribbon, right click on it and click on the collapse the ribbon. So it will cancel this tick. So it will be shown right over here, right? Otherwise, can අපි එතනට ගියොත් තමයි යා pop down කරන්නේ group එක, right? ඒක සමහරලාට හරි කරදරයි, right? Okay, so this is the way that you are going to apply the superscript and the subscript. Yeah, people, is it clear until this point? Can I have the confirmation? Right, great. Okay, so moving forward, now this is something you like, right? Now, this particular tool is called Text Effects and Typography. Now, it is like literally, like in simple words, it is saying how to decorate or how to make up your words, right? So, if we take the word apple, oh my God, what has happened? Oh, it's a Zoom controller. If you take the apple, I'm taking out the bold, italic, and the underline part from it. And yeah, now if you want to decorate the word, you can use this particular command, and it is provided with a predefined patterns with the office, right? So we can use that, and you can't see the preview, so I'm going to take this particular thing down. Again, when you are taking things down, enter key එක press කරලා. So enter key will help you to move the cursor to a new line, right? Once you move to a new line, then the arrow keys will help you to move from line to line. මේ A අකුරෙන් පහළට යන්නේ නැහැ. යන්නේ නැති new line එකක් නැති නිසා. So we can create a new line by pressing the enter. Then we can move the cursor from up and down since we have new lines over there, right? So I'm taking the apple word little bit down so you can see the preview, right? Now I press this text effect, and when I'm moving my mouse pointer, nothing is going to change on the apple. It is because I'm not select that particular one. So first you select it, then you move, then you can see what are the applications. So these are some predefined formats. So if you do not like these particular predefined ones, you can create your own design. You can change the color as per your requirement, but this is about the outline. Right now, outline, I'm going to give the orange as the outline, and I can change the size of the outline as well from using this weight command. Right, when I'm changing it, you can see the outline is spread over the letter, right? So as well as we can apply a shadow, right? 7L දාගන්න පුළුවන් ඒකට ගැලපෙන විදිහට, right? And we can apply a reflection, and we can apply a glow, right? So likewise, we can create a very good appearance using that text style or the text effect tool, right? Now, like when it comes to the versions which is before the 2007, there was something called word art to do the same particular thing, but there අපිට මේ තරම් වෙනස් කරන්න දුන්නේ නැහැ. We have to go with the predefined formats, right? Then you have to be satisfied with the provided things on those days. But today we can change it as we want, right? And now when it comes to this other two tools, which is at the right side of the text effects, one is called the text highlight color, the other one is called the font color. So text highlighting and font color are two different things. Text highlight will change the background of the word, not the color of the font. To change the color of the font, we use the font color, right? So how we are going to use this? I'll take two more words. And now for the first one, for banana, I'm going to change the background color by it's like being highlighted, right? So the font color is still in black, but the background is highlighted from green. And for pineapple, I'm going to apply a different color, right? So it is in blue, right? Blue, right? Okay. So this is because of the font color, and this is because of the highlighted color or the text highlight. And you can change the font color. You can't clear the font color. If you want to disappear the font, you can use white so you can't see the fonts, or else you have to use some color that you want. By default it is black, right? And you can get rid of this highlight text color, right? So just select it and go there, and you have to choose no color in there, so no highlighting will be happen, right? And again, if you want to get rid of the formattings that is given to a particular word or particular line, there is another tool called clear all formattings. But when you do this, remember your text will be reset to the very initial point or the very initial format of the Word document. Right now, if I choose Apple and if I do clear formatting, you can see what has happened. So previously it was like this, and I do the clear formatting part, so it becomes Calibri size 11 word. And if I do the same thing for pineapple, it goes to the same place. And before I do it to banana, I'm going to highlight this, and then I'm going to change the font type and the color as well. Now I'm going to clear the formattings. Now there will be a special thing happening. See, all the formattings are being changed, but not the highlighted color. So remember that. Text highlight color will not erased using the clear all formats button, right? So other than that, all other formattings will be cleared, right? Okay, so we talk about almost everything, and we have this particular one is to be discussed, which is called the change case tool. So to discuss about the change case tool, I need some paragraph. So I have download something, not download, like, yeah, I took this paragraph for the previous class as well. So I'm going to take the same for you. So I'm getting rid of these things and I'm pasting this. Right, so I select it. Now, if I want to select entire document at once, I can use select all command, which can give in the keyboard by pressing CTRL and A. So Control A will select the entire command, entire content of the Word document. Then I can change the size, and if you notice, the size is given here is like 10.5, which is not in the list of the word processing softwares, right? So I'm increasing the size, right? And I want to separate the sentence. So this is a one sentence and this is the other, right? Now you can see this, the paragraph that I got here has capital letters, simple letters, right? Now this change case is about changing the capital and the simpleness, right? So for that, it is given us many different facilities to get use. So now you can see the letter S in Sigiriya word and letter S in Sinhagiri, as well as Matale and district and Dambulla, central province, Sri Lanka. All the starting letters are capitals. Now what I'm doing is I'm selecting this first sentence and go to the change case, and I'm telling, okay, change it to the sentence case, right? Hold on, not the sentence. First, I'm asking it to change it to the lower case. Now concentrate on the capital letters over here. So all the capital letters will be converted into the simples. So once you apply the lower case, no capital letters are there. And in similar manner, if I apply the uppercase, there will be no simple letters are there. All right. So, and before I go to the capitalize each word, I'm changing this back to the lowercase, and then I choose capitalize each word. So I click it. Now what has happened? Each and every word got their first letter as a capital, right? So this is what you call capitalize each word, right? And if I select the same sentence and if I choose toggle case, see what's happening. So all the capital letters become simples, all the simple letters become capitals, right? So that is what we call toggling, right? So before I toggle this back, or before I go for anything else, I'm making this into the lower cases, as well as the entire thing. I'm going to change it to the lower case. And then I'm going to use this sentence case. Now, you know, in English, when we are writing something as sentence by sentence, the first letter should be capital, right? And if I put sentence case, it gives me the same effect, right? So like if I press sentence case, you can see the letter S and Sigiriya and letter T and the are become the like it is made into the way we are writing something on a book, right? Like starting from a capital letter, the rest is going to be simples, right? So that is what we are doing with the change case tools. So like the sentence case, lowercase, uppercase, capitalize each word, and toggle case are there. Okay, so then after, I'm going to take your concentration into this clipboard group, right? So it is the next group that I'm going to talk about, and it has three major tools that we need to concentrate on, which is the paste, cut, and copy. And there is a special tool called Format Painter. I'll come to that. So like copying, cutting, and pasting, right? If you can copy and paste, you can cut and paste, and there is a difference for these two. So like copy means you do not change anything, or like you do not harm the source. You are just copying it from there, and it's going to be pasted to somewhere else where it is required. So the original document, or the original what we call the source, will be there. It is not being affected. But if you cut and paste it, cutting means it is like you are tearing it up and take, right, from the place it is there. Then you are going to paste it somewhere you want. So once you paste it over there, that previous link or previous place is not being like applied with the previous situation. මොකද තියෙන තැනින් ගලවලා අරගෙන තමයි වෙන තැනකට දාන්නේ. So you won't be able to find the same content in the place you have taken things out, right? So අපි ඔකට moving කියලාත් කියනවා, right? So in Windows we talk about copy and paste and cut and paste, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a copy and paste. So before I do that, I am going to change the color of this sentence into red. So it will indicate that I'm copying and paste. So I'm selecting this ancient rock, right? So you can right click on that selection and you can take the by clicking the right click menu, right, the copy, or else you can click on right over here, the copy command in the clipboard group, or else you can use the keyboard shortcut Control C. Copy starts from C, so Control C will be copy the stuff that you have selected. So then to the places that you need to paste what you have copied. So move your cursor or just click on the place that you want and take it to the particular place. And then you can, what you can do is right click and you have paste options. So the first one says you just take it from there, right? And in the second option, it says take only the values, right? I'm sorry, not the take only value, like merge formattings, like the format that is taken by the source will be considered, as well as the formatting which we applied over here will be considered as well, right? And third one is the like pasting as a picture, right? So then after those what we call the wordings will not be able to edit since it is like painted as a picture, right? And the last one, keep text only. So that means no more formattings will be adapted over here, or like given up over here. It is just purely the text, takes only the text. ඒක පාටවල් මොනවද effects දාලාද, it's not going to be changed, right? So likewise you can paste. So I'm going to choose this keep source formatting. So ancient rock, the red color two words is being set over here, right? But if you are going to do a cut and paste, right? So how I'm going to do the cut, I'm going to select Sigiriya and I'm going to use Control X as the cut command, so which is the keyboard shortcut. Control X. So once I given the Control X command, the Sigiriya word will be like taken from the original place. Right here, I'm pressing Control and X. Oh, hold on. It is because of this. And if you want to cut, you can right click and choose the cut as well, or else from here, or else from, as I told you, Control X should be there. What is going on? Oh yeah, Control X happens. So the word Sigiri is gone from that point. And if I want to put it in between these two, so I can select it and I paste it. So Sigiri, the word will be here, but not in here. Right, so that is what you call copy and paste and cut and paste. And the keyboard shortcut to copy, it's Control C. So since cut cannot be done with the letter C, right? So what we are doing is we are choosing X as the keyboard shortcut. So the Control X. So the X is like a scissor. So we can have the idea. So it is being cut down, right? And the pasting part, it has the keyboard shortcut called Control V. අකුරු තුන ඔයගොල්ලෝ keyboard එකේ බැලුවොත් they are placed in an order, right? So you can find the letter C at the row which is one like one before the last row. පහළටම වෙන්න තියෙන පේලියට උඩින් තමයි C අකුර තියෙන්නේ. C ගේ වම් අත පැත්තේ තියෙන X අකුර which we use to cut the content, and in the right hand side it has V, which is the pasting command. So Control C will copy, Control X will cut, and Control V will be doing the pasting part, right? So got that? Is it clear with the copy, cut, and paste? Can I have the confirmation, people? Right, great. Okay, next I'm talking about the format painter, right? And again, if you got any question, just ask it from me, right? Yeah, Dilini, what is this? Ah, okay, right. Okay, so in case if someone is not at the WhatsApp group, I'm reminding you, just send me the WhatsApp message to this particular number, right? Because you are going to get the practicals through that, right? Right, so I'll send you the email which you need to be emailed, right? Okay, so now the format painter is like this. Now I'm going to decorate this word matale, making it as bold and increasing the font size, giving some color, as well as giving some, yeah, let's say we took it like this. So it has a particular format. And if that format to be copied to the word called dabulla, so the same format should be given to the dabulla. So what we can do is we can choose this particular one, the word, and we can use the format painter, right? Click on the format painter, and then once you click on that, the format painter will be highlighted. And if you look closely, your mouse pointer is also changing. It is there with a paintbrush. So in that scenario, just move your cursor to the beginning of dabulla and just click and drag to the right hand side. So the same appearance is given to the word dabulla as well, right? And what's happened to your cursor later? It is not activating anything, right? So what you can do is, now if you want to apply the same format into several different places, let's say this northern one is being applied. uh, let's say with this, no, check something else. Oh no, it is not clear. Now I need to apply the style of this northern word to central province and historical and archaeology, right? So what we can do is we can select the particular word and we can double click on the format painter, double click, right? So double click will allow you to use a particular what we call formatting. So you can use it as much as you want. Right now I have selected the northern and double click on the format painter. Then I'm going to use it with the reverse. So it's going to change, and using with historical, it is going to change. Archaeological, it is going to change, right? Dominated. So likewise, we can apply the same formatting. So like we can apply the previous formatting, in this case not the formatting of northern, to other places by double clicking on the format paint. And once you are done with it, you can click on the format painter again to cancel the format painter mod, right? Okay people, did you got how the format painter is done? Have you? Right. Okay. Now, those are the two groups that we talk about, like font and the clipboard, right? And if you got any question, it's time for you to ask. Otherwise, we can move to the other tool set as well, which is the paragraph, right? If you got any questions, does anyone is having any question? Okay. All right. So let's move to the paragraph part as well, right? So I'm going to clear the thing. So I use Control A, so it will select the entire thing, and I'm deleting it, right? So I'm just typing an address, number 21, Pandividia, right? And I'm making it a little bit bigger, right? Okay. So in the paragraph, it is just indicating us what to be done with the paragraphs, right? So like it can be a one word or one line, or it can be like any other format that we are going to use, right? So anyway, in the paragraphs, it is talking about, mostly it is talking about the positioning. And the other thing that they are talking about is the like the listing facility, right? So let's first talk about the positioning. So here in this these three lines are being left aligned. Vamata කෙලින් කළා තමයි. වමට කෙල්ලේ කළා තමයි තියෙන්නේ, right? Left aligned. So if you press on this, the center aligned, so it will be aligned in the center. And if you take this to the right hand side, so it will be aligned to the right. So it is always either the left align or the right align or the middle alignment as you want, right? So you have to remember, when the alignment are there, your next line after the Pandividia, now this is right align. If I press enter, you can see where the cursor goes, right? It is right beneath the Pandividia. So if I type anything, that is also been right aligned too. So if you are going to take this into the middle, so like you can select the things that you have written and you can take it to the center alignment. So in the alignment, they got the shortcut keys. For the left alignment, it is Control L, because left is start from the L. And for the center alignment, it cannot take C, because C is taken as the shortcut key of the copy. Control C is for copy. So because of that, they have taken the next letter, which is E, right? So as the center aligning keyboard shortcut. And for the right, again, as we know, Control L, I'm sorry, Control R can be taken to do the right alignment, right? And this alignment, we need those alignment in different cases, right? Apita letter එකක් හදාගන්න ඕන නම්, indentation එකක් හදාගන්න ඕන නම්, we will be needing different kinds of alignments. That is why they are here, right? And as well as if I take a paragraph into the justified format, for you to show the justification, I need to have the copy of this particular paragraph again. And I'll increase the font size. Yeah. Now this particular paragraph is left aligned. You can see the left margin. The letters are being aligned to the left margin. Right? If I select this and give the right margin, it's going to be like this. If it is center aligned, it is going to be like this. Now I want both left and right margins are to be aligned together. So using these three commands, we won't be able to do that, but with this fourth one, we will be able to. So once I click on it, you can see both left and right alignment are being cleared and fixed, right? So this is called justified. So the keyboard shortcut is Control J, right? So that is why I told you most of the formattings and the floating part can be done by using the shortcuts like Control J, right? So this is how the justification has happened. So those are the three alignment tools. Then right next to the justification, we can see the line spacing and paragraphs. So this is there to increase the white space in between lines. Now, if I click on this, now nothing is been selected. And if I take a live preview, you can see when it is 1.0, it's a little bit distance, and if it is 1.15, it is increasing. So likewise, we can increase the space between the lines just by using this, right? And by going to the line spacing options, you will be able to manage the way you want the paragraph, right? We are not going to go for those kind of things, but there will be essential parts as well as the non-essential, or like the things that we are not going to use within our syllabus, right? But when it comes to the line spacing, it's better you remember why we use that, right? As well as we can give the color to the selection as well. I mean, මෙතනදී අපි highlight කරපු එකනේ කරේ, right? ඔය දෙකේ වෙනස ඔයගොල්ලෝ අඳුන ගන්න ඕන. Now if I select these two, not that two, if I select these two and apply the highlight color, it goes like this. And if I select these two lines and apply this particular, the paragraph, the shadings that is for the paragraph, and I'm using a different color, you can see what actually happens. So it affected, or like it applied to the entire paragraph, not just for that two lines. But selection can be done like in many different ways, right? And just remember the differences. Like text, this particular one is just affecting on the selected area, and but the shadings will affect the entire component. Paragraph nam paragraph ekam, right? Likewise. And as well as you can apply the borders for a selection, right? And to do that, I'm going to get rid of these things, and still I'm choosing these two because it's different from the length. And if I enable all borders right over here, see what happens. Still it applies with the entire paragraph, right? So if I undo it and if I choose the top border, so you can see where the top border is being like placed, right? And we can take the bottom border and left and right, right? So we can see the borders are being there. This is purely regarding the content, right? Then මේ ඔයගලන්ගේ worksheet එකට borders දාගන්න, can work in area එකට borders දාගන්න ක්‍රමයක් තියෙනවා. I'll tell you in the future sessions. But when you need to apply the border to a particular content, this is the way that you are going to do, right? So from there you can change the thickness of the like border properties, and you can draw the border tables if you want, right? And we are going to talk about drawing a table in with the insert button, right? So likewise, you can apply a particular border regarding a paragraph, right? And yeah, now these two things, I'm not going to talk about the sorting for this moment because it will take some time. And these two things, these are called indentation tools, right? So like these are there to indent your paragraph or the selected area little bit to the rightwards or little bit to the leftwards, right? So class is starting at 6 o'clock and we are ending at 7:30, right? So we can select this and press the increase indent button, which is at the right side. So what's happened? You can see it is being indented. And we can use the other button, which is the opposite of it, decrease the indentation. So it will decrease the things, right? And let's see what happens when we place the cursor at the very beginning of here, like before this particular word. I'm using the indentation, so the same happens. Entire thing moves. Right, so that is why we use indentations, right? So there are two types of indentation, which is the increase indentation and decrease indentation. Right, are these clear, people? How about it? Right, great. Now, since it is 7:29, I'm not going to go to the list or the sorting part. We'll do it by next week, right? So I'm going to end the session from this point, right? So thank you very much, people. I'll meet you on next week. And if you got any questions to be asked, you can stay and answer things, right? Others, you can leave, right? Have a very good night, right? Please be very safe, right? Be very safe. So we will be able to like work again within very soon, but you have to be very careful on these days, right? So have a good night, people, and be safe, right? People, if you have any questions, you can stay and ask. සුදම් 5:45 කියලා තිබුණද මගේ එකක මං කලින් වකර එක සෙෂන් එකක් පහුවෙලා පටන් ගන්න එක පුතේ 5:45 කියලා දාලා තිබුණා.
Sir 5:30 කියලා දාලා තියෙනවා.
5:30 කියලා දාලා තිබ්බද? sorry පුතා. මගේ අතින් වැරදිලා මේවා කරලා ඇති. Right, okay people. So thank you very much. Right, I'll meet you on next Friday for the same time. Right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Right, okay, people.